memorize it, but it will be on your formula sheet when you take the end of course assessment. So just keep in mind that when you use this, that your quadratic that you're trying to solve has to be in this form. So if you have, if you don't have 0 on the right, you're going to have to make sure everything is on the same side, and the x squared term first, then the x term, then the constant term. So I'm going to make one up that doesn't factor. Let's see, 2x squared plus 3x minus 4 equals 0. So here's a quadratic. And by the way, you can use these TI-84 pluses on the test. So the first thing I want to show you is the graph. So I'm just going to go to y equals. I'm going to put 2x squared plus 3x minus 4. Then I'm going to graph it. Okay, so there it is. In how many places does it cross? Cross the x-axis. Yeah, it crosses twice, so there are 2 answers to this one. You can't really approximate it by looking at the graph. You can't get an exact answer by looking at the graph, so we've got to use the quadratic formula. But again, when it crosses the x-axis, they could be called x-intercepts. What else did I tell you? Zeros. Solutions. One more. Starts with an R. Roots. Could be called x-intercepts, zeros, solutions, or roots. So we're going to use a quadratic formula to find out exactly where it crosses the x-axis. Here it is. Okay, for this problem, you can check and see if it'll factor. What's 2 times negative 4? Negative 8. Are there factors of negative 8 that add up to 3? Let's see, factors of negative 8. You got negative 8 and 1, 8 and negative 1. No. You got 2 and negative 4, and negative 2 and 4. No, it doesn't work. So we're going to have to use quadratic formula. A equals 2. B equals 3. And C equals negative 4. Okay, so we're ready to plug these in. X equals the opposite of B. So we're going to put that in right here. That'll be negative 3 plus or minus. That means we're going to get 2 answers. The square root of B squared minus 4 times A, 8 times negative 4, negative 32. So what's that going to do to that minus sign? Yeah, it's going to be 9 minus negative 32, so that'll make it 9 plus 32. And here's kind of a hint on that. You know this is going to stay a minus when A and C are both positive or both negative. But if one of them is negative, either A or C, this will become a plus. That makes sense? If one of these is negative, this will become a plus. All over 2 times A, 4. So just be very careful with your arithmetic. Inside the radical, 9 plus 32. So we get negative 3 plus the square root of 41 over 4. And what's the other answer? Negative 3 minus the square root of 41 over 4. Those are the exact answers. We don't know what the square root of 41 is, do we? No. So the last thing that we'll do here, and they may ask for you to round your answers to the nearest thousandth. The last thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and use a calculator to approximate these. So if they ask for an exact answer, this is it. If they want an approximation, then you're just going to plug these into the calculator. So I'll do negative 3 plus the square root of 41 divided by 4. I get 0.851. And then the other one is going to be negative 3 minus the square root of 41. Notice I'm pressing enter now. Divided by 4. And that's negative 2.351. So those are the two x-intercepts. Does that look about like negative 2.3? Pretty close. And this one a little less than 1, about 0.851. Yeah. Exact answers, approximation.